Hey, happy Friday, everybody. It's Chamber Check-In time, and welcome to another episode from Idaho's only five-star accredited chamber. Today, we have a unique opportunity to share a story of a film company called the Flying Fedora Film. We have president, founder, CEO, chief garbage takeouter, Brandon Freeman with us today. Hi, Brandon.
Hi, how you doing? Yeah, I just finished taking the garbage out right now. So yeah.
See,
Mm-hmm.
we do everything in our businesses, don't we?
We do.
Hey, Brandon, thanks for carving out some time on this beautiful Friday afternoon. And you've been a chamber member for probably 5 or 6 years, I would imagine. And I remember meeting you when you used to wear your hat.
Yes.
But you don't have that on today. So,
I don't.
But hey, these chamber check-ins are really great ways of sharing our member stories, their products, their services. But you know what I like the most, Brandon, is sharing about the people, because it's all about the people, right? Why don't you bring us back? Tell us a little bit about the history of you, the history of your work that led you into filmmaking.
Yeah. Well, so I've been a filmmaker for about 20 years now. So I started when I was about 18. Before that, I wanted to be an animator, but I realized I didn't have the patience for it. So picked up a video camera, started playing with all kinds of aspects, whether it be shooting, visual effects, composing, editing, all of it. Very quickly, I realized that this is what I wanted to do with my life. And so I became a media producer, didn't go to school for it, just kind of jumped in with both feet. I've worked with several different nonprofits and other production companies here in town as a media producer. And in 2016, I took the leap and I incorporated into my own brand. So that was Flying Fedora Film, LLC. And then shortly thereafter, I joined the Boise Chamber of Commerce because I wanted to figure out how to connect and just start to become a part of the community. But it was really just my freelancing brand, and it was just me. And I joined with other production companies and continue to sort of build my experience. And then just this last year, I felt that itch. And I think most entrepreneurs know that itch that I'm talking about, where you're just, you've been sitting there, you're doing kind of the Monday through Friday thing, 9 to 5, and you're just starting to go, okay, I think it's time. I think it's time. And sort of on a wing and a prayer, I was like, this is time. So March 2023, I decided to really invest into my brand. I redid all of my marketing for my website. I just pushed myself out there, and I've been rapidly connecting with various marketing agencies, with other production companies here in town, not to work for them, but to work with them, to put together teams and to provide offerings for clients that hopefully stand out. We're not just talking video production for the sake of video production, but we're talking capturing stories and capturing audiences that are going to propel the businesses that we're giving that energy to into the next stratosphere.
Well, we were talking before we went live, we were talking about a picture is worth 1,000 words. What is a video worth? And you see, videos are captivating, right? Even just short little clips.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get to that, why the name Flying Fedora?
Okay. So that's actually, I don't know, depending on who believes that things come in dreams or not. But this actually came 2 years before. That was 2014. I'd been pushing to do the independent film thing. I'd been pushing to, I'd made about 20 short films, 2 feature films. And there was just there's a struggle with that. You end up, especially when you don't have the capital that big studios do, and you're just a little independent guy. You've got a lot of credit card debt. You got a lot of obstacles that you're just pushing up against. And there came a moment where I was like, maybe I'm done. Maybe I can't do this anymore. Maybe I just need to settle down. And then I had a dream that night, and it was like the opening of a movie where you see the studio, right? The studio puts its logo up, and it was literally the camera was over this pavement road, and then it starts to swoop up as this red convertible with the top down zips by, and it's driven by a blonde woman, and she throws this hat out, and this hat just spins out and freezes at the frame, and then the words Flying Fedora Film popped up, and then I woke up. So
Wow.
believe that or not, that was, I woke up and I go, well, I guess I'm not done yet. I guess my subconscious had something to say about that. What's funny about that, I did used to wear a fedora. So I've worn fedoras since I was about 14. Indiana Jones is all because of Indiana Jones. But my life shifted dramatically back 2019, 2020, right around COVID time. A lot of people's lives did. And the fedora itself became less and less something that I connected with, but yet I had this brand. So I was like, well, okay, so do I need to rebrand now? And what I realized was in the vision, in the dream, right? She throws the hat out of the car. That became for me a metaphor of letting go of what no longer serves. So Flying Fedora Film is about cutting to the meat of what you're doing and getting rid of the stuff that you don't need anymore.
I love it. Thank you for telling me that story. Because I thought it was just because you like the fedora, and but now I know, and I hope everybody else understands that that's such a cool name and unique. And what I like about entrepreneurs is their names and their brands are unique to their own passions, and that's what makes it special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. All right, let's talk a little bit about what you offer your clients, Brandon. You obviously you produce content, you are production. You film and edit, but you also act too.
I do.
So tell us a little bit about what a client that comes to you with a goal in mind, and how do you align all of it?
Well, I will say that I have offered all kinds of services. Right now, the service that I'm most wanting to provide are brand ad films. Specifically for social media, I'm really wanting to sort of get a handle on creating 30 to 60 second spots that everybody's scrolling on Facebook, right? And there's a lot of video content out there, but I want to make stuff that catches people off guard, that causes them to just go, wait, what's that? What's that? It doesn't take a long time. It's almost as short as just looking at a picture. But it just makes you laugh. It makes you jump. It makes you have an emotional response, and then you click on the brand that posted it, right? So that's my passion right now. That's the ideal product that I'm looking to provide. I also have extensive experience with company culture videos. So we're talking, I call them mini documentary pieces, 3 to 5 minutes. Although nowadays, I'd say trends are pushing towards 90 seconds for those kinds of videos. The viewing time is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. But they're basically, those are pieces that are more kind of meet the team videos. Those are going to go more on your website, maybe LinkedIn. Those are really foundational sort of vision casting for your business to give people a chance to get to know you. Beyond that, I've been getting into music videos. I've done a few documentaries for some nonprofits. In fact, right now I'm in the middle of producing a documentary for the Salvation Army for their Red Kettle Drive in November. So we're doing a piece that's focusing on their food pantry and their Fresh Fridays, and hoping to raise funds to continue that. I actually adore nonprofits. I adore telling the stories because there's so much passion that's there. And so that at the end of the day is what I'm drawn to, is what's the human element? Who are the people? And I love how you prefaced the start of this show. Who are the people behind the product? That's, if I can make something that exhibits who you are, I'm having a great time.
Oh, wow. Okay. So focusing on 30 to 60 second clips, doing company culture videos. I think that's huge. I think you should run with that and lead with that, because every business in town is looking to retain, attract, and grow talent. And that next generation that's looking to move here or wants to stay here, they're definitely lined to a company through a video. And you can learn a lot in a 60-second video about the culture. And Absolutely. I did see, scrolling through your website, that was something you did. And I wrote down a couple other things. Music video, I think that's awesome. Like I said, that everybody loves music, and then you put video to it. That's even more captivating. What is this creative training series
So that might be, a creative training series. That's going to be something that is maybe a little bit more in-house. So that's for companies that are looking to have maybe like a series of short form videos that are helping their employees understand how we do things. It might also be client or customer focused training videos where maybe you've got a service or an app or a product and you're wanting to sort of show how does this work, how does this translate into the real world. It's something that would come alongside maybe a website where you've got various aspects of training.
Yeah.
So just something that sort of catches people's eye a little bit, keeps them engaged.
I love it. Brandon, that's so funny you said that on training. I used to work for a company called Polar Pack, and we had these hydration backpacks and these innovative reservoirs. And I did, my own training video on how to fill this thing with water, how to utilize it. And yeah, it wasn't quality, but if you go on YouTube and pull up Polar Pack, you're going to see that video. But it's just so funny. And I wonder, why would people want to bring Flying Fedora in when they can do it with their phone? So tell me how you stand out.
So how I stand out, well, first off, I'm bringing 20 years of experience as a storyteller. The thing about technology is it always innovates. I just got a new iPhone 14, and yeah, I can actually do quite a bit of damage with that device, right? At the end of the day, it's not about the camera. It's about who's behind the camera and who's in front of it. I think most people, when they say, well, I could just have someone shoot that with their iPhone. Again, my first question is, okay, but who? Who's shooting that? And not just who's shooting it, but who's cutting it together. Because editing is the other very, very unsung hero of this whole thing. And then on the backside of it, before editing, before shooting, before any of that, the writing, the phrasing, all of that. Now, I'm not a marketing agency. I'm a film production company, but I have a strong passion for writing. I have a strong passion for phrasing. And I also have a strong passion for connecting with marketing agencies who want to work with me and collaborate with me. So I'm going to be bringing not just gear. I'm going to be bringing resource of relationship, resource of professionals, resource of everything from, again, start to finish. Something that maybe we do shoot it with the iPhone. Maybe we do. But what you're paying for is the experience.
Absolutely. I think I'm so glad that you pointed that out because yes, the editing piece is something like we're doing this live. I don't edit anything. And I think that's the secret sauce. That's what
it takes the most time too, because I would say pre-production takes almost as much time as editing if you're doing it right. If you're doing pre-production right, you're doing all of your shot lists ahead of time. You're doing all of your planning. You're sort of editing it before you even shoot it. Right. But then in the edit, you're taking all that footage, and you might have a shoot that was 5 hours, and maybe you have 4 hours of footage that came out of that, multiple camera angles, multiple audio tracks. You've got to boil all of that down into maybe 3 or 4 30-second spots. So all of these creative decisions that, again, have very little to do with what was used and everything to do with how are we going to use it.
I love it. I got your website scrolling on the bottom of the screen here. Anybody who's interested in elevating their brands through visual content and stand out from the competition, give Brandon a call. Hey, I really want people to understand that Brandon finds the personal touch. He delivers the personal touch as well as getting to know you and understanding the DNA of the message. With that said, is there anything else that you'd like to educate the public on while I have you here?
I would just say, I'm going to leave you with this. This is how I approach every project. The very first thing that I'm going to ask is why. Why are we here? Why are we telling this story? From that, then we're going to swing around to, okay, what are we talking about? We're going to start with the why, because if we don't have our motive, if we don't have our reason for being here, which is, your what can be very specific, but your why is going to be very, very universal. It's an emotion. It's going to be I think there's only like 9 or 10 primary emotions. It's going to be one of those. It's a why. Then we got our what. But our why is what defines our why is what defines our win. So those 3 things are what I approach every project with. What's our why? What's our what? And what does a win look like if we do this?
I love that. I'll often ask clients that I'm engaging with about chamber membership. I'll ask them, what's a win look like for you? What does success look like for you? And it always takes people back a little bit. Oh, well, let me think about that for a second, because I want to know how I can help them succeed, just like you're doing.
Mm-hmm. And really, if I can just add on to that, what we're talking about at the end of the day is value. And what we want to have in our minds when we're talking about these projects, yes, it is going to come with a budget. It is going to come with a cost, and we're going to need to talk about that because we're talking about professionals who are bringing their experience to it. But if you can come at it with the mindset of what is the value that is being brought to you, and if we can't identify that value, we're not going to move forward until we do. Because the value isn't just to have a video plaque on your digital Facebook wall. Anybody can do that. You can do that. The value is something that's going to make people click, engage, and elevate your business.
Awesome. Brandon, wow, what a great conversation today. Thank you for educating me more about Flying Fedora Film. I know when I'm out talking to people and they're looking for a quality film person, I'm going to direct them to you. Thank you for your membership with the Chamber. Reach out anytime. We're happy to help, and have a great weekend.
Awesome. Thank you. You too.